It was Halloween, and for some reason, our flight had a massive delay. Most of the passengers ended up getting rebooked on different flights, but a small group of us weren't so lucky. Either we couldn't get a new flight, or couldn't swing the cost of a hotel room, so we were stuck at the airport, just waiting. Honestly though, I didn't really mind the delay. The upside. Having a nearly empty cabin to myself, kind of like scoring a first-class experience without the price tag. I even got to pick whichever seat I wanted once I boarded. Most of the other passengers went straight to the back of the plane and clumped together, but I went with a quiet front row corner seat. There were just a few people up there with me, and they looked like they knew each other since they were sitting close and chatting. The flight was originally scheduled for the daytime, but the delay turned it into an overnight ride. Not the end of the world, but I was bummed about missing those awesome views out the window, so instead I just shifted my focus to what was happening inside the plane. Even though airplanes can feel weirdly spacious, something about being inside one always leaves me a little on edge. I usually need something: music, a book, anything to keep my mind distracted. I had just reached for my phone when a flight attendant walked up to me and asked if I'd mind moving to sit with the others. It caught me off guard, but I figured why not. Still, I kinda wish I had asked why she wanted me to move, because that's the part that still sticks with me. Not long after I changed seats and got settled in, the whole cabin suddenly went weirdly quiet, like eerie quiet. At first, I didn't think much of it, until I noticed the people around me whispering to each other in these hushed, shocked voices. You ever have that feeling where the air around you just gets heavy? It's like this invisible weight that sinks into your chest and makes it feel like nothing is ever going to be okay again? That's exactly what it felt like. And then I turned to see what everyone else was staring at. I honestly didn't believe it at first, but yeah, yet was a dead body, right there in the cabin with us. Just sitting there. The thought of spending the rest of the flight next to a corpse made my stomach twist. I knew the crew was probably following protocol, but still it was disturbing. I decided to get up and head to the restroom, mostly to clear my head. I didn't really need the bathroom, I just needed a moment. I kept telling myself to breathe, to stay calm. Other people were on this flight too. I wasn't alone. After a few minutes of talking myself down, something hit the door hard. A loud thud, and then nothing. Just my breathing. Fast, shallow. I don't know why, but being locked in the restroom suddenly felt less safe than being out there with the others. So I waited a bit, then cracked the door open, just enough to peek out. Nothing looked out of place, no one in sight. So I slowly stepped out. Right then, the same flight attendant from earlier came around the corner and almost crashed into me with the drink cart. It looked like she'd just finished handing out drinks. What struck me as weird, though, is how completely unfazed she seemed, like she hadn't just heard someone pounding on the restroom door minutes before. She didn't say a word, and the way she looked at me, it was unsettling. You know that kind of stare someone gives when they think you've figured something out, even if you haven't said a thing? That's what it felt like. I broke eye contact, and she just moved on, quietly handing out drinks like nothing had happened. I headed back to my seat, trying to shake the weirdness off, and almost completely forgot about the corpse sitting just a few rows behind me. I can believe I passed right by it, and didn't even notice the first time. What still nags at me is how none of the other passengers seemed to hear that loud banging on the door. Maybe it wasn't as loud as I remember, or maybe it was just someone playing a prank. It was Halloween after all. At the very least, I got a spooky story out of it, something to freak out my nephews with when I got home, though I left out a few details, the kind you don't just casually share, at least not until now.